This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2, Welcome to DBL. Let me remove my water bottle. I am Tori, and it's Tuesday.
Pulling a Lindsay today.
With 27th, I'm Tori here with Lindsay and Brandon. Good to see you both. Let's get started. How many of you, raise your hands if you're at home or clap, are ready to get back to normal? Woo! Huh? Right? Oh, wow. Studio audience. That's what I wanted my stand-up to sound like. All right, the CDC just released new guidelines for the pandemic. We got you covered. They say vaccinated Americans can now ditch masks outdoors in small groups, also when dining outside or biking and running. But the CDC says we should still wear masks and stay 6 feet apart in public spaces like concerts or sports events. So this is exciting to me. This is a sign. This is an omen. We're moving forward, and this is logical. We're having a logical conversation about masks, when and when not to wear them. Thoughts, Brandon?
I don't care about logistics, or anything like that, Tori. I want to be out. I cannot wait to be out at festivals, concerts, even New York Giants football games in the fall with the fans out there enjoying the things that we love, enjoying the things that used to bring us together. We've missed out on that for so long. Now we're almost this close.
Lindsay, he such needs that
because
stuff, doesn't he?
You do too.
I thought I was about to go crazy, but I think you're about to go crazier than I am.
What do you think, Liz? Because I'm like you. I'm such an extrovert. What do you think?
I was reading an article recently about how there's actually no real proof that being outside and jogging maybe across the way from somebody causes you to catch COVID in any way in any real studies that we have. So a lot of times, as somebody who was trying to be an extrovert but still trying to abide by all the rules, like I would go out to dinner, and be outdoors. I didn't see people who were eating and sitting at the table, or even when you got to the table, keep your mask on. So these rules to me aren't like so updated. I think people just want to know, now that we're vaccinated, how can we move more freely? I think when you're in closed spaces, yes, wear the mask. But when you're outside, I haven't even seen kids with a mask, honestly, outside. I know you have, but I haven't seen any.
Yeah, well, that's in case if you do go jogging, which is something I would never do. Okay, let us know. Let us know if you guys are runners and if you feel more free to let them go as well. All right, this next case has me a buzz, and I want to know what you guys think. There is a big free speech case headed to the Supreme Court, and believe it or not, it all centers around a cheerleader. Brandy Levy didn't make varsity when she was 14 years old. She got upset about it. She posted about it on Snapchat. The snap included a number of lewd gestures and comments, including her middle finger and a number of F-bombs saying bleep school, bleep softball, bleep cheer, bleep everything. Well, her message, posted outside of school grounds and during the weekend, got her in trouble with the team. They kicked her off the squad for a year, saying she violated the team's code of conduct. Her parents appealed, and now the case has gone all the way up to the Supreme Court. Here's what Brandy had to say about it recently on GMA.
I feel like when I signed this code of conduct, I didn't sign away my First Amendment rights. So I feel that I should be able to say what I want out of school hours, and if it's not during the school activity. I was not directing towards any coaches. I didn't have the school's name in it. I didn't have coach's name or any teammates' names in it.
So this is fascinating to me because I'm such a free speech person, right? And I wrote a term paper on a case called Tinker v. Des Moines, which is super famous. And actually, some of you in Iowa have written me that you know the Tinkers. Oh. They, in 1965, wore a black armband to go against the Vietnam War in school, and they got kicked out. And it went all the way up to the Supreme Court. And the very famous, my favorite statement says, children do not shed their constitutional rights at the school gates. Meaning if it's a public school, that's government, they can't tell you what to do inside. Well, this is off campus. So now we're taking the Tinker off campus. And the Tinkers actually wrote in and said, imagine you're a kid and you want to wear a digital armband, right, on social media, or you want to wear a certain t-shirt, or you want to attend a certain rally, or you want to stand up for something off campus. Now the public school is going to tell you you can't. This, to me, is a straight violation of freedom of speech for high schoolers who are dealing with some strong climate change, dealing with shootings, and dealing with a lot more than we know. So what do you guys think?
Well, did the Tinkers, did they sign a code of conduct like that young woman did? Because I come from a different background where I've been a part of sports franchises and organizations for quite some time now. And every year you have to sign some sort of paper, some moral conduct, to where if you have anything, and this was pre-social media when I was in high school, but any offensive conduct, any offensive behavior, or anything that or language could get you in trouble.
Right.
So, with what she just said, tell me you're entitled without telling me you're entitled.
Here's the problem,
Tell
though.
me you're
Here's the
entitled
problem.
without telling me you're entitled.
A public school is different than a team. A team can have a business, a corporation, and they can have a moral clause that you can follow. But the moral clause here might be violating someone's First Amendment rights because a public school equals the government. And the First Amendment is about the government telling us, no matter if you're 13 or 103, that I should be able to wear a T-shirt, an armband, I should be able to speak my truth when I'm off campus or in campus. What do you think?
Even simplifying it, like when you think about social media, like I don't know what you guys were doing in high school or when you were 14.
I was marching. I'm such a nerd.
But even the way I was in my head or to my friends, I'm sure I was cursing out teachers or very upset. And so the only difference now is that we have social media and that kids are like growing up to record the things they do and record every moment of life. But like nothing about her behavior is abnormal for a 14-year-old that's upset that she's not getting something that she wanted, that she might have worked hard for, or just maybe being a brat. But that's actually 14-year-old behavior. So to get kicked off the team for that because she recorded it, like so many of her peers that record every single thing they do from wake up in the morning, eat breakfast, to have dinner, it's kind of crazy that, you know, the rules aren't a little bit flexible, knowing that we live in this digital age.
And not only that, most schools right now, because of pandemic, are off campus, right?
Yeah.
So now you're limiting anyone from anything that they can say, which is a huge violation.
Signed a moral. There's nothing different from the JV cheer squad than the star basketball player on the basketball team getting upset and then saying, "Oh, we had some girls are tweeting out some rap."
But she's claiming
lyrics.
the moral clause is violating the First Amendment.
No. So
Yes,
we
that is
signed
exactly
a moral
what
clause
happened.
here with
I know
Tegna.
we're getting paid.
We're business.
This is
We're
a business. But
corporation.
this is a high school. That's a public
so-
high
so
school.
now-
So I think
now-
when you're in college, yes, they're giving you, in exchange for your college career, they're giving you a free tuition.
So we're saying that the kids can go out and just do whatever they want, say whatever they want.
Freedom of
put
speech
that out
means
there.
any kid can say whatever they want fully without fear of government coming onto them. That's what I feel, but we got to go to the next story. Before we go to break, we got a viral video to share. This is straight of Back to the Future. Okay. A man is seen, look at this.
Wow.
He's on a hoverboard. I've always wanted a hoverboard so bad, down a city street, past apartment buildings, restaurants, even other cars. It turns out the man is really good with a $20,000 hoverboard. He's got a ton of these videos, although most don't show him doing it in the middle of the city. We should be here. This is where
These
the
are
future
about to
is.
get so regulated.
Totally.
Imagine a million people get these and flying around all over the highways. Like, it can't happen. This guy's about to ruin it for everybody.
I'm like a kid in the candy store because I still ride the bird scooters. So now this is where I need to upgrade to.
Do you guys
right
remember
here, a
Marty
hoverboard.
McFly? Like on the, do you guys know Back to the Future?
Of course.
Okay. I didn't know if I was too old. Okay.
Do we know Back to the Future?
all right, I'm making sure. All right, switching gears here. Coming up on DBL, a man caught on camera injecting his ex with poison. He was convicted, but why is he still saying he didn't do it? Don't miss the True Crime Chronicles. And could Caitlyn Jenner really become California's first transgender governor? What her children are saying about her run? Those are the Kardashians coming up next.
Closed captioning provided by
According to Bloomberg, the work-at-home experiment launched by the coronavirus has proven profitable. It reports new research shows all that work done at your makeshift home office has boosted productivity in the U.S. economy by 5%. The results suggesting that changes made during the pandemic, like adopting new technology, will continue to boost the economy in the future. But of course, not everyone gets to work from home. Frontline workers have some of the lowest paid jobs that cannot be done remotely. So that means wealthier workers are overwhelmingly the ones enjoying the benefits of working from home. Experts warn this is increasing the racial and economic divide in the U.S. Some companies believe this work-from-home experiment will not last. The head of Goldman Sachs has already announced it will do away with it as soon as possible. But some tech giants are leaning in. Facebook saying the work-from-home model has opened up new pools of talent in other cities, while Twitter has announced it will make working from home permanent. Experts predict that will have another side effect, reducing incomes in the Bay Area. And that's connecting the dots.
Welcome to DVL. Check out our coworkers tuning in from home during the pandemic. Stay healthy, everyone. There's Jody. How I miss everybody. All right. Is the world ready for Caitlyn Jenner to be governor of California? And can she pull it off? Well, the 71-year-old former Olympic gold medalist, TV star, and now transgender activist announced she's running for governor and is reportedly working with former Trump aides. She's already got a bunch of merch for sale, including mugs, shirts, hats, bumper stickers, and wine glasses. Caitlyn is hoping to pull off what former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger did back in 2003 by winning in a recall election. But it seems like Caitlyn's family may not be too into the idea. TMZ reports the Jenner brothers, Brody, Brandon, and Bert, more B names than I thought I could say, didn't think she qualified and strongly believes that she should not be running. Meantime, it also appears the Kardashians will not be campaigning for Caitlyn either. That's also according to TMZ. Yeah, it's off-brand, I think, for them, the conservative nature of Caitlyn, but I also think that Caitlyn hurt them really bad when she wrote about Kris Jenner and exposed a lot in her book. And ever since then, when I talk frayed relationships and I study the Kardashians, I don't think Khloe's spoken to her since then. And Kylie's the only close one now at all.
One person that does support this is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Hey, yo!
he said that he supports this, but he also wasn't qualified to be governor. So it's interesting with that support. I just don't understand when people get into politics or want to run for a high office like governor. And we're not talking about like local, really hyper local in your community. You should start there maybe.
That's a good point.
But like he just wants to go for governor and has like no experience.
She wants to go for governor.
I mean, sorry, she wants to go for governor and has no experience. I just want to know what exactly the policies are going to be. And also, if a lot of California is not loving Gavin Newsom, why would you just want to replace it with somebody who credentials is Olympian, which is a great credentials, but also a TV star? Like, what are you going to do for California?
Was it childish of me that like the first thing that popped up in my head when I read this wasn't like, oh, she's not experienced. I'm like, what's up with these former Kardashians now running for political office? Kanye wanted to go for president. Now he wants to be the governor of California. But I was just thinking about it on the LGBTQ front, and because there was a lot of people speaking out like, how are you going to run for a Republican seat while you are a trans person? So I did some reading, and some people feel as though that'll be a good thing because if he does get in there, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
If she does get in there, then just look at with all the rules and all the new laws that are out against youth sports and the education for LGBTQ. Look what she can probably help do. I mean,
there's an option there, right?
I'm trying to be somewhat.
No, there's an option there. And Arash in my ear was saying exactly what I was thinking. What's so interesting, Brandon, is in California, the LGBTQ rights groups do not support Caitlyn Jenner.
Interesting.
And I think that's, not only do you not get your Kardashians, which is like a gazillion votes, you don't get the people that you come from at that point. You might want to back off.
Yeah,
right? I just think this is a losing.
And also,
proposal.
his son recently deleted social media because he's so embarrassed, according to TMZ. So that's not a good place to be with your family.
That's awkward. All right, well, stay tuned because coming up on DBL, this is insane. A man ambushes his ex. It's all on camera. He was convicted, but he's still saying it wasn't me. This bizarre true crime chronicles you want to see. It's coming up next.
Here's a question we got in an email. If we need to get booster shots, do we stick with the same brand as our original vaccine? Our sources are the FDA, Dr. William Schaffner, an infectious diseases expert from Vanderbilt University, and Dr. Anna Durbin, a vaccines expert from Johns Hopkins University.
Well, at the moment, the scientists and the companies and the NIH are working on kind of phase 2 vaccines, right? So-called boosters. We haven't decided we need them yet.
The other good news is those are starting to be tested, and even different platforms or mixed vaccinations are also starting to be tested, particularly in the UK.
Basically, while we don't know if we need booster shots, the pharmaceutical companies have already started to test for them. And while it's likely if you got, say, a Pfizer vaccine, you would then get a Pfizer booster, testing on mixing brands is also starting.
We'd have to look at that, look at the data, because we want to make sure we maximize the benefit and minimize the side effects.
Most importantly, with all this booster talk, all recommendations about booster shots need to come from the FDA and the CDC, not the pharmaceutical companies.
Welcome back to DBL. Imagine being attacked and murdered by your ex on Valentine's Day. It's a cryptic true story that happened in Virginia, and to this day, the convicted killer is still saying he's innocent. Here's the latest in True Crime Chronicles.
Joseph Merlino and Ellie Tran met in Virginia. They both had good jobs and were happy. They dated for a few years before Ellie got pregnant. After that, their relationship got rocky. They eventually split and were fighting for custody of their 2-year-old daughter. Joseph was accused of stalking and trying to break into Ellie's home, so she installed surveillance cameras. It's those cameras that captured a horrific and chilling moment on Valentine's Day 2017. Caught on camera, you see Ellie returning home, walking out of her car and to the front door. Then, someone approaches her from behind, attacks, and injects her with a needle. In that needle was cyanide. Ellie died from the deadly substance the next day. Joseph was charged with murder, and the case went to trial. Prosecutors argued Joseph intentionally poisoned his ex to get custody over their child.
I didn't do it, what they're accusing me of, and they haven't even proved it.
Joseph insisted he had nothing to do with it and claimed the video was actually a different man.
I'm not only hoping to get my name cleared, I'm hoping that this insidious justice that has been brought over these past 2 years won't fall into someone else's hands. And hopefully I can get some case laws out of it under my name.
Prosecutors presented mounds of evidence, like the video and Joseph's internet searches, which revealed he looked up cyanide poisoning. Joseph was charged with first-degree murder and then sentenced to life in prison. 4 years later, he's still maintaining his innocence. Why? And will he appeal his conviction?
Earlier, Al and I spoke with the reporter who actually interviewed Joseph behind bars. Take a look at this. We are joined by 13 News Now reporter Allie Weatherton. Thank you, Allie, so much for being here. It's been 4 years. Why is Joseph still maintaining his innocence? And is there a chance he can appeal his conviction?
Well, he said that he was not the man on the video. If you saw the video, the victim actually put surveillance video or cameras up, and it caught the whole act. You see a man run through the bushes and stick something in the victim's buttocks. He said that that wasn't him in the video. He said that he was at his brother's house, which was a few hours away when it all happened. So he still stands by that wasn't him. And he said that he just stands by his innocence.
Wow.
4 years ago, he said that he was planning on appealing. He wanted new attorneys in the case. 4 years later, we really haven't heard much of him filing an appeal at this point.
All right, well, you covered the entire trial and even interviewed Joseph in jail. What was that like, and did he tell you anything?
It's crazy because I've never interviewed someone. That was the first time I've ever interviewed someone in jail. And I remember him saying to me, it looks sunny outside. How is it?
Oh, wow.
And I remember saying, it's beautiful. It's beautiful out. And when we talked, he's a very smart man. He always said he didn't do it. He said that while he was in prison, he was going to start writing a book, and just stands by that he didn't do this. It was a crazy trial. A lot of things came out. He actually went on a 70-day hunger strike while he was in the Virginia Beach City Jail. He was having seizure-like activity in the courtroom. So it was definitely a crazy trial to cover.
I just want to ask you how Ellie's family is doing all these years later, and their daughter, if you know, and could tell us more about that.
I haven't talked to her family ever since the trial ended. I know they had a really, really difficult time. Obviously, Ellie was their pride and joy. She actually brought her parents to live with her. And I believe the sister lived in Chicago, and she moved here to Virginia Beach to raise Ellie's daughter. So I think they're still trying to, move on from this and find closure.
To learn more about this case, visit 13newsnow.com. This story is also the subject of a new podcast episode. Just search True Crime Chronicles on your favorite podcast player. Again, Allie, thank you so much for highlighting this story and for being here today. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
The Verify team is here to tackle misinformation spreading online. Take this whopper of a tweet with more than 24,000 likes. Biden says that we can have 4 pounds of red meat per year. My official response today. And headlines like this from the Daily Mail. How Biden's climate plan could limit you to eat just 1 burger a month. So let's avoid political spin and verify. Did the Biden administration propose a plan to slash red meat consumption by 90%? Here are sources. This University of Michigan study from January 2020. Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack. And this White House statement on the Biden administration's goals on greenhouse gas reductions. Let's start with where these numbers came from in the first place. In January 2020, researchers at the University of Michigan released this study. It found that greenhouse gas emissions from food could be cut in half if red meat consumption is cut by 90%, along with a 50% drop in all other meats. So that's where these numbers came from. But is the White House actually proposing this? Our researchers started by checking this fact sheet from the White House, breaking down their climate plans, as well as a Biden speech from the recent climate summit. Neither mentioned any changes to meat consumption. We also reached out to the White House, which didn't comment directly, but they did send our team numerous fact checks on the issue, adding that there are no restrictions on red meat consumption as part of the president's climate plans or emission targets. Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack answered this question more directly on a media call Monday afternoon, saying there's, quote, no effort designed to limit people's intake of beef coming out of President Biden's White House or the USDA.
In the political world, games get played and issues are injected into the conversation, knowing full well that there's not a factual basis for the issue.
So we can verify that these headlines are misleading. The Biden administration has not proposed a reduction in red meat consumption of 90%. With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
Welcome back to DBL. Spring is here, finally, and it's time to start thinking about preparing your home for the season. Here's this week's DBL Home Hack, presented by American Home Shield. HVAC prep is so important. We're talking about the basics: heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. So here are 3 signs your AC tune-up might be due. Number 1, if your utility bills are going up, that means your unit is working overtime because something needs to be replaced. If you smell a bad odor in your house, that might point to a clogged line or mold buildup. And poor airflow could signify a clogged or dirty air filter. Tune-ups are super important to keep your air conditioning unit and home running smoothly. When it comes to your home, American Home Shield warranty helps cover many things homeowners insurance leaves out. Visit ahs.com to learn more and get a free quote today. That's very good to know. We got some comments.
Okay, on what?
A lot on the cheerleader. Eloisa says, let this be her first lesson in signing a contract. And again, what she's trying to take to the Supreme Court is to say this contract violates my First Amendment rights. She's saying this contract shouldn't be allowed.
But Brandon's saying you should have brought that out before you signed it. That is violating your First Amendment rights.
Hey, guys, before we sign this, if I'm going to make this team, or if I'm going to be on this team, can I still drop F-bombs all over Snapchat? Will I get in trouble for that?
The problem is, to go to the Supreme Court, you need an actionable offense to have occurred, right? So she need to have actually violated this moral clause to then bring up to the Supreme Court that this, in fact, is unconstitutional on the surface.
Hey, no wonder why the Tinkers retweeted you over there. You're on this.
So nothing to say back to that. I was glad to have you back. It's because I take it seriously. Imagine you not be able to post something or wear a T-shirt or go to church or go to a certain gay pride or a non-gay pride. I mean, even if you wanted to march in something that's against the school's values, that should be allowed off campus, in my opinion. And we'll see what the Supreme Court says. Finally, Betty says, I'm confused with what Caitlyn Jenner's platform is other than vote for me. I'm a celebrity.
Yeah, she's all over the place. We'll see what happens.
She is. All right, goodbye to our coworkers from home. We're new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow.